The Adventures of Milo, the Brave Little Mouse, a tale of courage and unity. The Dreamer in the Meadow. Once upon a time, in a lush green meadow surrounded by towering trees and sparkling streams, there lived a tiny mouse named Milo. Milo was no ordinary mouse. He was smaller than most of his siblings, with soft grey fur, bright, curious eyes, and a heart full of courage. While other mice scurried about collecting crumbs and hiding from predators, Milo dreamed of grand adventures. He wanted to explore the world beyond the meadow, to see the mountains in the distance, and to discover what lay beyond the great oak tree at the edge of the forest. But Milo's family and friends always warned him, "The world is a dangerous place for a little mouse like you. Stay close to home where it's safe." Milo, however, couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to life than hiding in the shadows. One sunny morning, as the birds sang and the flowers swayed in the breeze, Milo made up his mind. He packed a small bag with a few crumbs of bread, a tiny piece of cheese, and a leaf to use as a blanket. With a deep breath, he set off on his grand adventure. The Great Oak Tree. Milo's first goal was to reach the great oak tree. It was the tallest tree in the meadow, and its branches stretched high into the sky like a giant's arms. Milo had always wondered what the world looked like from the top of that tree. As he scurried through the tall grass, he met a friendly ladybug named Lila. "Hello there, little mouse," Lila said, her red wings shimmering in the sunlight. "Where are you off to in such a hurry?" "I'm going to climb the great oak tree," Milo declared proudly. "I want to see the world from the top." Lila giggled. "That's quite a climb for such a tiny mouse. But if you're determined, I'll cheer you on." With Lila flying beside him, Milo reached the base of the great oak tree. The trunk was rough and towering, but Milo was determined. He found a small crevice in the bark and began to climb. Up and up he went, his tiny paws gripping the rough surface. Lila flew alongside him, encouraging him every step of the way. Finally, after what felt like hours, Milo reached the highest branch he could manage. He gasped at the view. The meadow stretched out below him like a patchwork quilt of green and gold. Beyond the meadow, he could see the sparkling river, the dense forest, and the distant mountains he had always dreamed of. "It's beautiful," Milo whispered. "Told you it would be worth it," Lila said with a smile. But as Milo gazed at the horizon, he noticed something strange. A dark cloud was gathering over the forest, and the animals below seemed restless. Birds were flying in all directions, and the usual chatter of the meadow had turned to worried whispers. "Something's wrong," Milo said. "I need to find out what's happening." The Forest of Shadows. Milo climbed down the great oak tree and set off toward the forest. Lila decided to join him, fluttering by his side. As they approached the edge of the forest, the air grew cooler and the sunlight dimmed. The trees here were tall and ancient, their branches twisted and gnarled. "Are you sure about this, Milo?" Lila asked nervously. "The forest can be a scary place." "I have to find out what's going on," Milo said firmly. "If something's wrong, maybe I can help." As they ventured deeper into the forest, they heard a faint whimpering sound. Following the noise, they found a small rabbit caught in a tangle of thorny vines. The rabbit's fur was matted, and its eyes were wide with fear. "Please help me," the rabbit cried. "I got lost, and now I'm stuck." Milo didn't hesitate. He carefully nibbled at the vines, using his sharp teeth to free the rabbit. Lila helped by guiding him to the thickest parts of the vines. After a few minutes of hard work, the rabbit was free. "Thank you so much," the rabbit said, hopping with joy. "My name is Ruby. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come along." "We're happy to help," Milo said. "But do you know what's causing all the commotion in the forest?" Ruby's ears drooped. "It's the shadow fox," she said in a hushed voice. "It's been terrorizing the forest animals, stealing our food and scaring everyone. No one knows how to stop it." Milo's heart raced. The shadow fox sounded terrifying, but he couldn't ignore the fear in Ruby's eyes. "We'll find a way to stop it," he said bravely. "Will you help us?" Ruby nodded. "I'll do whatever I can." The trio decided to seek advice from the wise old owl who lived in the tallest tree in the forest. The owl was known for his wisdom and knowledge of the forest's secrets. As they made their way to his tree, the forest grew darker and quieter. Even the birds seemed to hold their breath. When they reached the owl's tree, they called up to him. "Wise old owl, we need your help." The owl peered down at them with his large, glowing eyes. "What brings you to my tree, little ones?" he asked in a deep, soothing voice. Milo explained the situation with the shadow fox and the fear it had spread throughout the forest. The owl listened carefully, his head tilting from side to side. "The shadow fox is a cunning creature," the owl said. "It thrives on fear and darkness, but it has one weakness. It cannot stand the light of courage and unity. If you can rally the forest animals and stand together, you can drive it away." "But how?" Ruby asked. "Everyone is too scared to even leave their homes." "You must be the spark that ignites their courage," the owl said, looking directly at Milo. "Even the smallest light can banish the deepest darkness." Milo felt a surge of determination. "We'll do it," he said. "We'll bring the forest together and drive the shadow fox away." Rallying the forest, Milo, Lila, and Ruby set to work. They visited every corner of the forest, from the densest thickets to the highest treetops. They spoke to the deer, the squirrels, the birds, and even the shy hedgehogs. At first, the animals were hesitant, but Milo's bravery and determination inspired them. "If a little mouse can stand up to the shadow fox, so can we," a deer said, stomping his hoof. "We'll stand together," a squirrel chattered, puffing out his chest. Soon, the forest was alive with activity. Animals of all shapes and sizes gathered in a clearing, their eyes filled with hope and determination. Milo stood on a rock, addressing the crowd. "We may be small," he said, "but together we are strong. The shadow fox thrives on our fear. But if we stand united, we can drive it away." The animals cheered, their voices echoing through the forest. As night fell, they formed a circle, their eyes scanning the shadows for any sign of the fox. The final stand. The shadow fox emerged from the darkness, its glowing eyes and sleek black fur sending shivers down the spines of the animals. But this time, no one ran. They stood their ground, their courage shining like a beacon. The fox snarled, circling the group. "What is this? A gathering of fools?" it hissed. "We're not afraid of you anymore," Milo shouted, stepping forward. "Leave our forest and never return." The fox lunged at Milo, but the animals closed ranks, forming a protective barrier. The deer stomped their hooves, the birds swooped down, and the squirrels threw acorns. The fox, overwhelmed by the united front, let out a final snarl and retreated into the darkness. The forest erupted in cheers. The shadow fox was gone, and the animals celebrated their victory. Milo was hailed as a hero, but he simply smiled. "We did it together," he said. "That's what matters." Epilogue. A new beginning. With the shadow fox gone, the forest returned to its peaceful state. Milo, Lila, and Ruby became lifelong friends, and their story spread throughout the meadow and beyond. Milo's bravery inspired other animals to face their fears and stand up for what was right. As for Milo, he continued to dream of adventures, but he also learned the value of home and friendship. He knew that no matter how far he roamed, he would always have a place in the meadow and a family who loved him. And so, the little mouse who dared to dream lived happily ever after, proving that even the smallest creatures can make the biggest difference. The end.